What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to a special late night agenda where you've got the two best and brightest in Liverpool YouTube. I said it, James. I said it. I'm not taking it back, mate. I said it now.
You shouldn't take it back. You shouldn't take it back. Do you know what I mean? Especially yourself with the work rate that you've been putting in, Craig. You deserve to be in that conversation. So thank you to everyone as always for tuning in. Be sure that you smash a like as always and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, let's have a smashing show, which I know we always do.
Speaking of smashing, 5-0. You know what I mean? 5-0.
It's just boss. Do you know what I mean? Hey, Craig, another high five. High five. Boss.
Defo, 5-0. Do you know what I mean? 5-0. Like, I mean, just when you think it doesn't get better, mate, it does. It just continuously gets better.
It'll never get better, but every day when you remind yourself you're right, it does get better, and it's just nice being able to rub it in their faces. Their mank faces, lad. These are the moments that you live for. That's what football is about. Winning trophies and winning against your rivals. And I'm here to talk about it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Even when they get a new manager and start doing decent. You still got to at a 5-0, mate. Listen, how many times did we hear 7-2 last season? Especially you. But I mean, how many times did we hear 7-2 last season?
Destroyed, I did, fella.
I know you did, lads. I know you did. Don't worry, I did as well, to be fair. But it's been salvaged. It's been salvaged, and they lost 6-1 on the same day, so who cares?
Exactly. Look, I want to get into loads of stuff, James, but before we get underway, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to ask you, how are your genitals at this moment in time, Mr. Redmond? Do you know what I mean? How are your genitals, sir?
Do you know what? I do have to say they are marvellous, and they're also nicely shaved, and I have to say they're nicely shaved because of...
Our friends over at manscaped.com, James. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It is coming to the time of year where we look around, we look at our loved ones, we look at our brothers, our sisters, our aunts, or uncles, and we think, what the hell do we get them this Christmas? No need to fear anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I've got you covered. I've got your balls covered. I've got your genitals covered. I've got your man covered. I've got everything covered. Get yourselves over to manscaped.com. 20% off. And free shipping with our discount code WFM20. I know lots of you guys have been out there ordering bits and pieces. You love to see it. Thank you to Manscaped for the support as always. You don't need the spiel at this point. You know it. You deserve to treat yourself to a bit of Manscaped. And trust me, the ladies will thank you as well as your balls. So there you go, manscaped.com, WFM20, Lawnmower 4.0, boom. Love it. Right, James, right. I want to get into to talk about transfers, mate. And one that caught my eye today, and it's the title of the stream, was apparently Liverpool are interested in Calvin Phillips, but here's where I come unstuck, mate. He's not worth 60 million quid.
Yeah, I agree. I'm fine with that. Yeah, sweet. Don't get me wrong, Calvin Phillips is decent. Like, he is a good player, and I think in the Euros, he actually warranted his place over Henderson at times, and I think that's a big achievement. I believe he'd actually do okay in our system. So if we did ever sign him out, I actually wouldn't be too far against it, because he'd bring them legs that Gini Wijnaldum used to bring, and I feel like he brings that reliability as well, because he's used to playing in a high-pressing system. So if you could get that price lowered just a tidge, then yeah, why not? You know what I mean? Calvin Phillips, I'll jump on that train. But to suggest that he's worth that when you see the form that Leeds are in, and you've saw, even though he is an important player in that team, I don't think he's had the longevity of other players to warrant a price tag like that. I understand because of English tax that can happen, but no, for me that's not worth it, and I would not go anywhere near that myself, Craig. Don't know about you, my mate.
Yeah, I'm like you. I think player-wise, no issues. Good player.
Yeah.
Could absolutely come in and do a job in the Henderson role. Very similar attributes to Jordan Henderson, but it's where I come unstuck is not me paying the 60 million, not the club. Just seeing FSG going, oh yeah, 60 million euros. No bother, mate. You know what I mean? Exactly. There's no other alternatives around Europe for cheaper. 60 million. Sure, we'll add that to the 102 million for Jude Bellingham. And sure, we're laughing. How much you want, Jurgen? 200 million? No bother.
Yeah, that's it, lad. That's it. It's just like, it's a merry-go-round on what Liverpool can do. Because I remember when we lost the Champions... Was it when we lost? Yeah, when we lost the Champions League final, we go, buy Fabinho, buy Shaqiri, buy... Alisson, I think, as well, came that summer. On top of that, then we nearly bought Nabil Fekir. God knows why that never happened. But it's like, we were active, we were doing business since then. I mean, we obviously had, not the one just gone, but the one before, the summer transfer window, where we got Thiago and Jota, which again was more of a surprising window than what I thought we were going to have. I thought Thiago was going to be the only signing. Oh yeah, and Shimikas, that one as well, which just always slips my mind. But it does make me think to myself, I do think we are on the horizon of maybe like a £40 million player, £50 million player, but I don't see us spending any north of £50 million on one player next summer. I will be realistic.
Absolutely, we will give you a birthday shout out, Vishnu. Happy birthday,
happy
my man.
birthday. Happy birthday, my mate, you know what I mean? I don't know how old you are, but if you're old enough to have a bevy, crack one open, my brother. And hope you've had a marvellous day.
Absolutely, lots of love from all of us, dude. Happy birthday to you. Look, yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Because I was saying this to Connor earlier on, James. I mean, I see all these links to players coming, and as soon as I see that over 40 million, I go, that's not going to happen. And is that, I guess where I'm going with this is that an indictment of us, or is it more of a way to give praise to Jurgen Klopp for the way they've gone about the recruitment, mate? Because we know we're not going to be signing 60, 70 million pound players unless we sell someone.
Exactly. That's the big biggie. If we sell a big player, then maybe we'll get it. We'll maybe get a Jude Bellingham possibly. But the reason why I don't see that happening is because who are we going to sell as a big asset? Because I think if we sold any of our big assets as of right now, I think we'd be half disappointed with whoever goes. You'll get what I'm saying? Like if Mane, Firmino, or whoever would be. I think we'd be sad about that. I think Jurgen Klopp has to always be praised with what he's achieved, with the budget that he's had, and I don't think it gets talked about enough. Because if you look at the whole Premier League era, Craig, and you look at the successes of Sir Alex Ferguson and the dominance he still had top 2, top 3 richest teams in the Premier League. You look at Chelsea, top 2 or first richest team in the Premier League. Man City, same situation. Arsenal have always been there and thereabouts, but they've never had an era of dominance like the way Chelsea did. They had the Invincibles, but they won 3 league titles under Arsene Wenger, and they never won no Champions Leagues. Since then, they haven't really been able to build on much, but they've also been a wealthy club, whereas Liverpool, we're wealthy, but the way we run our club, we just simply do not spend as much as others. And for whatever reason that is, it does have an impact on what I think is the League Cups, the FA Cups, when you have to start using your squad depth. But for the league and whatnot, that's when Jurgen Klopp can be an absolute gem because he builds a first 11. This is a man who was at Dortmund and bought friggin' Robert Lewandowski for 1 million. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he is insane with finding bargains and making them absolutely boss. Didn't he get Pulisic or something as well? Lad, Jurgen Klopp is a gem. If you are a decent player, meet Jurgen Klopp and he'll make you a great player. That's why I put him as the number 1. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's the way it's always going to be. He even said at Dortmund that's the way it was. And then he left and then they started spending money. Hopefully that's what we do when Jurgen leaves, because we're only getting away with it now because of Jurgen, I think. I don't think even another top-class manager will be able to, even look at Antonio Conte. We're not in the same situation as Inter. But the second he was told that they would have to sell big players and, just this, that and the other, Antonio Conte was like, fuck this, mate. I've just won you the first league title for you in 10 years, in the first 10 years, and you're not going to back me and let me have my players. No, I'm not going to disrespect myself like that, because he knows that it's a much more difficult job.
There is something, though. There's something extra sweet about winning the Premier League and the Champions League with a very, very well-constructed, I won't say cheaply bought, but net spend-wise cheaply bought
feels proper.
Set of players.
It's
a real 2 fingers, isn't it? It's a real fuck you to United, fuck you to Manchester City, and all of these other clubs that are out there dropping humongous amounts of money where Kloppo's in there, bringing in Andy Robertson. I like to say, James, Andy Robertson was a swap for Kevin Stewart. Think about that for a second.
Oh my
we
God,
sold them
because
same
he
money.
went for 8 million as well.
And look what we got out of it. That's genius. That is one of the best transfers in the Premier League era, without a shadow of a doubt, and it just goes unnoticed.
I think Jurgen Klopp's worst signing, money-wise, is Loris Karius.
Yeah, can't argue. For what was it, 4.5?
4.5 million, but still, it cost you the Champions League final, I think. Not to even slander Karius, because, listen, that was time ago now, but it's like, that's bad. However, otherwise, who do you say is a flop? Like, Naby Keita, I wouldn't say he's a flop yet. I think longer time will tell about Naby Keita. Maybe Ox. Maybe, just because he never lived up to what we know he could have. I think this is a bait.
It's mad, isn't it? Because when we talk about flops and we talk about successes, you definitely take into account how much they cost. You definitely do. And because, I look at Kiri Minamino now, and I often think 7.25 million quid, it's nearly a free roll of the dice in this day and age. And then, as you said, Naby was what, 54 million pounds, something like that.
Yeah.
Great to see him back training today, by the way. And hang on, when by the way, When did Thiago decide that he doesn't want to be part of the ball club anymore? Do you know what I mean? Man's out there now with a full head of hair.
Wait, Daisy got his hair back?
Oh yeah, he's looking pristine.
Do you mean like skinhead? Do you mean skinhead?
No,
like
it's grown.
Barcelona days.
You could get the Brill cream in it, like that's the length.
You're
of
joking. Oh, he's gonna be looking like a sexy bastard now. That's more because I think Alisson, he's probably the most good-looking man in the team. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got Thiago's in there as well, even with a bald head. Do you know what I mean? Sound-looking fella. And
right now, Phillips. Not Phillips, a good looking.
Oh, sorry, yeah, he's number one actually. Do you know what I mean? He done boss when he came on against Preston. By the way, this man is just like a sleeping giant and just comes out of nowhere like Randy Orton with an RKO and just still doing his headers. I just love Nathaniel Deeney Van Phillips, lads, and I give him the respect to give him that name every single time because he deserves it. He does. He's beautiful, lad. I love him so much. I swear to God.
I love all these lads, mate. I love every single one of them.
And you know what? This is just we were touching on Jurgen Klopp. Do you know the feeling that we have about our players, about our manager? That stems from the manager. It stems from the manager because we never loved all of our players when Brendan Rodgers was here. We liked a select few, do you know, but we never loved them. Like we love Divock Origi. We love Minamino because he's a part of the plan. We love the youngsters who come through and just show a little bit of promise. We love like Nico Williams, someone who I probably write off, but I feel the reason why he can really improve and really feel comfortable at this stage is because he knows that we'll get behind him and we'll back him, even if he does have a few bad performances, and it's because the manager wouldn't accept anything else. If we were giving stick to players for unnecessary reasons, then the manager would be thinking, the manager would call us out. He'd be like, that's out of order, and that's where the family connection really comes in. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like there's barely another club. There will be other clubs in the Premier League, but there's barely many clubs who have it to the level that we do, especially out the top six.
Didn't get a chance to talk to you since the Shanks derby. There he is, look. There he is, Thiago. Look at him.
Listen, I am rating it. I am rating that, to be dead honest with you. It's Barcelona, Thiago, boys and girls. This is so heavy.
It's grown quickly. It only seems a few weeks ago I was sent pictures of him at football with his young lad by Steve, who's football. The young lad goes to the same football training as him. Yeah, it's anyway, the Shanks derby last night. Shanks derby last night, we got it done, got the job done. But you're talking about Nico Williams there. He was absolutely fantastic yesterday.
Sensational.
In both parts, mate, from right back and when Jurgs pushed him a little bit further forward as well. He was quality, wasn't he?
He was putting everything on the line as well, which I love to see because I wouldn't have associated Nico Williams as that type of player who really put his body on the line for the challenge. That's been one of my biggest criticisms. He hides away from challenges sometimes, and he's kind of purposely trying to be a little bit out of position, but not too much. Do you get what I mean? Just whether he's nervous or he's young and he doesn't want to make a direct mistake, but mate, going forward, he's a good player. He got an assist against Watford, when he came on, got an assist for Bobby Firmino in that game, gets an assist against Preston. He's building momentum and he's actually improved from the last time that I saw him in Preston. Listen, it's Preston and they're 19th in the Championship, and should you beat them, yes, but they were a well-drilled, well-set-out team, and the fact that Nico did well in two positions where they're trying to catch you on the break, and Nico had to play a similar role to Trent. He's got to be up the pitch a lot, he's got to be up and down. A Liverpool right back is very different to many other right backs. Same with the left back, but playing right back for Liverpool, you are required to do the most work in the team, probably because you are bombing up and down the wing constantly, just because you know how to cross the ball and you're good at going forward. Nico Williams has got them attributes. I don't think he'll ever be better than Trent, but I think for now, he's proven to me that, if he can play like that week in, week out and get the odd assist, he can definitely be like the Shimmercast and give Trent a push for his money.
Yeah, I was delighted, and I was even more happy to see Klopp back him to push him up to the right wing position there when he brought Conor Bradley on. And look, people are going to give him a little bit of stick for the one he didn't square across, but you only get that stick, James, if you don't score. If he scores that, we're all calling him a genius.
100%. But do you know what as well? I actually sympathise with him there because his head was down. And here's the thing, I saw from when he was running with the ball to goal, but he was outside the box, he looked to his left and there's no one there. No one. So he's clear. In his head, he's just through on goal and there's nobody with him. He's a kid, man. He's not a striker. He sees himself getting his first professional goal for Liverpool. He's through on goal with 2-0 up. He created the other two. Why not? Just why not? Do you know what I mean? Go for it. It never worked out. And I was saying at the time, square it. But he never even looked up. I'm sure if he looked up, he would have squared it.
I'm not passing that, James. I won't lie to you, mate. 2-0 last couple of minutes.
If I saw
after a little flick, I'm not passing that. Not a
If
hope.
I saw it, I might. I'm one of them. I'm a creator, but I understand if you don't, and I don't hate it if you don't. If it's 0-0, then it's a different issue.
Oh, if it's 0-0, I'm screaming abuse at the television, man. Everybody's a bastard at that point. It was 0-0. But look, let me just talk to you about the 2 goals. First and foremost, Scout Samurai, He loves this competition, mate. He loves it. Off the shin, but who cares?
Lads, Minamino and Origi are the Suarez and Sturridge of the League Cup. They're boss.
Yes.
In it, though, that's dream duo, lad. People saying we haven't got squad depth up front. When you play Origi and Minamino together, you can't even separate them. They're now Ant and Zech. Don't separate them because the boss. And don't do like Mane, Origi and fuck that, you know what I mean? Leave the trio to do their thing. Leave them to compete with MSN. And then let Minamino and Origi compete with the 2 strikers of the world, whether that's Ollie Watkins and Danny Ings, these type of combinations, and let them be a legend in their own right. And you know what?
Go on, say it, sir. Go on, say it, you mad bastard.
Do you reckon you just give them like the League Cup games, or do you think if we get to the semi-finals, then we need to go first team?
Oh yeah, we're definitely ditching them, mate. If we get to the semi-final, let's be honest.
Just between me and you, Craig, we'll just whisper them between us.
Yeah. Do you know what we do though? We tell them. Do you know what we'll do? We won't give you the semi-final, lads, because the A team are going to come out for that one. But you know what we do? We're sending these boys off to Africa for the African Cup of Nations. We'll give you a little run out there in the league.
Yeah, man. Hey, wait there, actually. Do you know what? Just a quick topic. Just because, light bulb. Do you reckon that they might have to... Because I think the semi-finals, aren't they in December? Or January?
Oh, you're right, mate. One of the games will be the semi-final. You're right. You're absolutely spot on.
So they'd have to play anyway.
We've done it. We've nailed it, James. You know what I mean?
We've nailed it. We've made it
work. We've done it. Look, just goes to show you what a piss take Ollie is. Me and you've just nailed the League Cup between us here in, 15 minutes?
Makes it look so hard, doesn't he?
He does. He's clowning us, mate. He really is. But last night, just before we finish up and look ahead to Brighton and have a little chat, wasn't a great performance, but who cares? The lads got the job done. And what was best for me, James, was that Kloppo didn't have to bring Canade on, didn't have to bring, obviously you rested Mane and Salah, but didn't have to bring Bobby or Diogo on. The lads got the job done. The lads that were put out to get it done got it done.
And do you want me to tell you why that is? It's because we've got a system. Man United fans, hear me out and say holla, because we got a system. And that's why we are successful. And even with, Harvey Blair, who I didn't think have an amazing game, but you saw that he knew
what he existed, James, before
neither did I. I'll be dead honest with you, neither did I. But actually, I've watched a few highlights of him today in the under-20. He's actually a good player, to be fair. I can understand why Klopp wanted to give him a go. I would have liked to see Musliowski. My G, would have loved to see him, but you know what, like what you've just said, who cares? We got the job done, we went through, we got a clean sheet, we had a difficult first half, and you've got to give, a lot of credit to Preston. They done exactly what they needed to do, and I actually think they've got a decent coach. I was hearing the way they were talking about Preston on the telly, and it looks like they're kind of, just a much poorer Liverpool. Like, the shelter by, and they try and run it within the club, but they're just not as big, and they haven't got as much money. But I could see there was a system there, but the quality just quite weren't. And I think you see that all the time. You see it with Brighton over the years. They've always played good football, but they can't get the goals in the back of the net. That was a good side we faced. And do you remember last week when I said there might be just a little bit of substance to the fact that Preston, in Jurgen Klopp's mind, could be a harder game than United?
I was just going to get onto that and say, well, technically now they're a better team than United in my eyes. Gave us more trouble. If it wasn't for Adrian pulling out Worldy and Nico Williams heading off his own line. By the way,
Adrian?
I want to know what's going through Nico's head, though. We'll definitely talk about Adrian, but what human being, mate, has the ball coming at them 100 miles an hour? His hands are already up, and the man couldn't move them out of the way and heads it off the line. I'm Luis Suarez and the shit out of that, if that's coming at me, mate.
Yeah, one of them ones, just a little paddy. No, listen, he fucking scrans at that shot, and at least we know our right back has got a fucking chin, because lad Nico Williams ate that shot like there was no tomorrow, and then went on to create 2 goals and nearly scored. He's boss, lad, and that's a proper... That's the type of player you want to play for Liverpool, you know what I mean? Someone who's hungry but still smart and knows what's best for the team and doesn't just think about himself.
Adrian making worldy saves. I had it all. I mean, this team can do no wrong at the minute, mate. Adrian coming out with worldies. Who would have thought it?
You've got the Irish Iker Casillas. You've got now the Spanish Iker Casillas reincarnated with Adrian. Boss, I made up for him, and do you know what? I still saw the game, and I still saw why he is a clunky goalkeeper. But he done what he had to do. Like, with his skill level, them saves were out of this world. Preston should have done better with them chances. Still done the job, got in the way, and kept us in the game. That's what you want your goalkeeper to do. And you know what? How many times have we saw a bad performance from Adrian and we're quick to jump on him? Aston Villa 7-2. Like, many performances when, you know, Atletico Madrid, terrible games where he's cost us it, but then, you know, you've got to give him the praise at the same time when he has a game like that. And if we go on to win the League Cup, or even have a day out at Wembley, you've got to thank Adrian for that, Craig.
Oh, we're still benching him though on Kelleher's feet, let's be fair.
Defo. Oh,
Definitely,
100%.
Come on.
Cyan.
Well, as long as we're on the same page there, James. As long as we're on the
Irish
same
Iker
page.
Casillas. Listen, I am on the Irish Iker Casillas choo-choo train. Don't you worry about it. I was devoted when Kelleher was injured. I like watching Kelleher play. Like, I feel dead safe when he's in goal.
Absolutely, and so you should. It's mad, and I've said this to you before. He only started playing as a keeper when he was 15. That is mad, like.
Is he?
Yeah, he was playing for Ringrat Rangers as a forward, I think it was. Then at 15, he went in goal. 15!
That's fucking mad, that. Yeah, Kelleher's sick. He was like, right, I'm not good enough in that position, but I still want to be a footballer. I'm tall. Right, let me become a goalkeeper and just start being a super cat. He's boss if he's only been training since then.
We pinched him under the noses of Aston Villa. He was about to sign for Villa, and then we went in and just got the deal done, which was brilliant.
He never looked like that he was going to be a real main presence in the Liverpool team. I mean, I think even before he made his debut, or like he played his first game last season, should I say, he conceded like 5 or 6 in the under-23s, and then started for us in the Champions League or some shit. Like, he's had a crazy career, and he popped out of nowhere, really did, but he's took his opportunity, and regardless, Kelleher is a great asset because he's young, he's doing well for us, and whether we keep him, boss, because we've got a good backup goalkeeper, but if we sell him, we could get 10-15 million for Kelleher if he keeps playing the way he does in these games.
That's it, and that's without Pittaluga coming through as well, who was on the bench last night.
How mad is it that Karius weren't on the bench? You had Pittaluga and some other fella.
Good, fuck him.
I'm on it, but like you'd still think he'd be on the bench, you know what I mean?
He's on Instagram. He's probably on Instagram doing something. He's probably busy. No, I think he had a shoulder injury. If my memory's right, I think he had a shoulder injury.
Oh really? That's probably not true. They're probably just saying, you know what, mate?
It's what happens though when you have to hold the phone up like this all day. Do you know what I mean? On Instagram, you pick up these shoulder injuries.
Gets a little bit sure, yeah.
I've been saving this super chat. I know Joel probably thought I ignored it, but he said, "What do you think about Alphonso Davies at Liverpool? Definitely a player that needs to be in the Premier League." Look, he is absolutely unbelievable, Alphonso Davies. Really great player, but there's no way on earth Bayern Munich are letting him go. They're building a good, young, hungry team there. He says, as he will now follow that up by saying, but they got their ass handed to them 5-0 in the German Cup last night.
Yeah, no, defo. No, Alphonso Davies is a great player, and it's very weird for me to want to turn down such a good, promising player in that position, because he is young and he would be like certified great left back for however many years. But we've got Robbo and we've got Shimmer, and you know what? I'm intrigued by Shimmercast. I don't know what it is, but even against Preston, there's just I'm not. He
looks like a Scouser. That's why he looks like a Scouser.
It could be the fact he looks like a Scouser. He is the Greek Scouser, to be in all fairness. But I just think the way he settled into the squad, the way he's adapted to the style of play. Like, why go and fix something that it absolutely isn't broken? Shimmercast is only 3 years older than Alphonso Davies. Alphonso Davies would be very detrimental to Liverpool's bank account. Just why not? Like, right now, I am buzzing with the options that we've got at left back. Although, if one of them was to get a long-term injury or they started playing shit and, God forbid, have to be sold, then Alphonso Davies is probably number 1 on my list out of all left backs that I'd want. Because even for our style of play, he'd be amazing.
Again, I don't think we've spoken since this came out, but did you see that Bild had put out that Dortmund are going to look for €120 million, about £100 million for Choo Bellingham, and they're looking to bring in his younger brother as well.
Ooh, I reckon he'll just stay there for quite a while. He is smashing it at Dortmund. He's getting freedom in the team, and you know, even if they sign his brother, who's actually a decent player as well, then what? There's probably even more because you know what Bellingham will be thinking, like, how boss would it be if I could win the Bundesliga with me brother? You know, think about the pictures on Instagram and the likes they get, Craig. Think about the likes, Craig. The likes.
That's all they're in it for. They don't want to be multi-millionaires with trophies.
But you know what though? I think some of these players nowadays, they are in it for moments, and rightly so. Life is about moments.
They scored a belter the other week
that you
as well.
look back on. Like, just imagine that picture lifting the Bundesliga or even a DFB Pokal or whatever it's called, and just you and your brother, you're lifting that trophy together. They'll probably never get a chance to do that besides there.
Yeah, because they've been doing that in the back garden since they were kids. Imagine doing that, as you said, at the fucking Allianz Arena or wherever they hold the cup final.
Think about the Netflix documentary, Craig. I'm thinking about the peas, my brother. The peas.
There you go.
For the Bellinghams.
Absolutely. You love to see it.
Liverpool,
another one that came up during the week was Gravenberch, who only has about 18 months left, but he's represented by Mina Raiola. Which, straight away you're thinking, oh well. You know, because Gravenberch with 18 months left would have made a lot of sense. Would have made a hell of a lot of sense, but...
We need a young profile top class midfielder. That's what we're looking for. That's what Harvey Elliott kind of is. That's what Curtis Jones kind of is. But I think he needs another one imposed to get in a Calvin Phillips that we're talking about earlier, or another Genie Wijnaldum type player. Now that you've let Genie go and you never squeezed all the juice out of the Genie Wijnaldum bank account that you could have, then let's now focus on bringing in someone young, someone who's going to fill in a hole in that midfield. And when Jurgen Klopp leaves, has had a few years to gel with the manager and the squad, to, when Jurgen leaves, to be good enough to basically carry Liverpool forward when they're 22, 23. That's the approach that I think we should take, and I hope we do take that, but it remains to be seen.
Look at this little gobshite in the chat.
No,
Learn how to spell, you dumb fuck.
Learn how to spell, you dumb fuck, you motherfucker. You stupid pussy. Not a message. Mate, but like, if that...
I forgot more about football than this little gobshite ever know about it. So don't be coming at the king, mate. Don't be coming at it.
The Lord even. Listen, he's a Lord now, boys. You need to show some respect.
Look, imagine calling somebody coming through with Ajax there shite. Or saying he's overhyped.
It's not the smartest. But Craig, we'll let him off. Do you know what I mean? He probably had a brain fart. He knows Gravenberch is a good player. And I think that's absurd, though. If he genuinely believes that, I think that's absurd.
He's trying to put the big boy pants on, James, and, you know, have a shot at the two kings.
He's trying to be tough, man. No, listen, I really do rate Gravenberch. I really rate the Ajax system. I think literally most players who come out of that team have been amazing. Frankie de Jong. I highly rate Van der Beek, by the way. I know he's not getting started, but we know why that he's not getting started. I'd take him in the Liverpool squad. I think he'd be a great little option, an exciting player, and they create exciting players. And Gravenberch will be one of the best midfielders in the world one day, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he'd be one of the richest as well, with Mina Raiola representing him, because we know that man knows how to... Yes, he will be getting paid.
There's not many things that... Sorry, one quick thing just to add is that there's not many things Gravenberch can't do, because sometimes people don't know what type of player someone is. Gravenberch can pass the ball, he can shoot, he can dribble, he can create, he can defend. His defensive game can improve, but overall he's a physical specimen. He's 6'3", but he's quick and he's agile, and like I said, that's kind of what you want in the team. He's got an engine. In the Liverpool team over time, from a young age, build that body up to fit the Liverpool team, and then you've got yourself one heck of a midfielder.
Oh yeah, but Shah Liker said he's shite, so he might as well give up playing. He might as well just retire tomorrow.
Never play.
Random fella in YouTube comment says he's overhyped, so you might as well just pack it up now.
Life is over.
Looking at this game against Brighton, I look at these type of games, James, as one that I like. You know, we say in boxing, styles make fights, in UFC, styles make fights. For me, it's the same in football. And Brighton, Bournemouth, they're the type of teams I always enjoy Liverpool playing against. You know, teams that come up lower end Premier League, higher end Championship teams that come up and try and do things in the right way. That usually plays into Jurgen Klopp's hands. So look, all respect to Graham Potter, great manager. Lot to like about the way Brighton play football, but I don't see how we don't win the game.
I could not agree more, because the thing is, Brighton are going to try and play football. Yes, they'll defend a bit, because you've always got to defend a bit when you're playing up against the quality of Liverpool, but Brighton, like what you've just said, I have so much respect for them, Craig. They're just a club who's done it proper, you know, out of nowhere, had so many good players like Basuma, you know, Lamptey, these type of players, you know, actually all round a good squad. Even our Adam Lallana, 16, 17 Lallana, different by the way. this is a tough game. They've done well this season. You know, they're 6th in the league or something like that. I think they're above United, to be fair. So it's going to be a harder game than United. I feel like that's the conclusion. We should win, but it's going to be a harder game than United. And Brighton, I really do like the way they play football. So there's many reasons why I'm excited, because I know they're not just going to do 10 men behind the ball. And we could win this game 3-0, but Brighton still have a good game. They're that type of team.
Another one of these, though, that really annoys me, because 3 p.m. kickoff means if you're not lucky enough, like yourself and Chris, to be heading along to the game, you're stuck scrambling around trying to watch it. Now, I'm lucky. Ireland,
yeah.
In Ireland, it's on Premier Sport this weekend, so we get one kickoff. We don't have that blackout 3 p.m., but we get one, and usually they pick one of the big teams. So this week I get to watch it, but I don't get this, James, like that they still have this blackout. And people don't know, people from around the world don't know what the blackout is. It basically was brought in, I don't know when, but a long time ago, to protect attendances, to make sure that, you know, people weren't just watching the footy, that they went to the games, the stadiums were full. But we're in a day and age now, mate, where the Premier League grounds, they're going to sell out. Premier League's entertainment, it's box office, it's big business.
Yes.
It's really annoying that, you know, there are people in the UK can't watch this game, whereas people in America, Australia, Japan, any part of the world can get full access to other Premier League games. It's ridiculous.
It's a joke. It's an absolute, like, the fact that you've got to be scrambling around for streams and whatnot. Like, I just think it's something that's just not ideal. You'd rather be able to watch the game for the money that you're paying. And Liverpool, to not be able to watch Liverpool must be devastating. And the fact that other countries can watch it, listen, I'm made up they can, because they should be able to watch it as well. But how do the people in the country where the game is being played not get access to watch the game from any credible source? I just think that's absolutely absurd to me. And, you know, a club as big as Liverpool, that's someone's Saturday, you know what I mean? That's, you know, I go into a pub called Jürgen sometimes, and they can't stream the game, they can't put the game on tomorrow, otherwise they could get in trouble and whatnot. That's a lot of money in their pockets that they're going to be missing out on for this match day. So there's even circumstances like that, a Premier League game on a Saturday, and you can't even make any money as a pub owner. Like, come on, man, that's like a joke in itself. So that's something he needs to sort out, because like you said, it's not going to impact attendances going forward. You literally have football fans around the world who will go and watch, I don't know, like Bournemouth, Brighton, the example you used before, if Bournemouth was still in the Premier League, just because it could be a relegation battle. And that's entertaining because it's Premier League football. Every team has at least one good player that you want to go and watch. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a load of bollocks.
I do think we'll get to a point, though, where there's a Netflix-style system, an on-demand style system, where you can go in and you can pay for a season ticket or whatever for your club, and a virtual season ticket, whatever you want to call it, and watch the games. And I understand the argument around trying to protect the smaller clubs and stuff like that. Yeah, sound, no worries about that. But it just doesn't sit right with me, James, that people in the UK can't watch a game of football that's taking place in the UK, whereas people in other parts of the world rightly are able to watch the games. It's mad. But anyway, look, fuck it. We move on. What I thought I'd do for the last 20 minutes, and we've a few minutes before that, is if you guys have any questions you want to throw at James or myself, we'll do a little Q&A for the last 20 minutes.
Right.
You up for it?
Switch it up. Why not?
Why not? Rather than just me and you waffling away, let's hand it over to the chat.
I love a good Q&A myself, to be honest. Random questions as well. We'll make it short.
Here's one again, and not a question, but again, just to shout out to Tom. Would be going to the game like James, but have COVID, so that's unfair. Hope you're well. First off, mate, get well. Get well soon. Absolutely sure. Devastated to hear that you've got COVID, mate, but get well soon. And I hope you're all right. I hope it's not hitting you too bad, because I've been lucky. I don't know about you. I've been lucky, mate. I've never had it.
Oh wow. Fair enough. I don't think I have, to be fair. So, you know, I'm also one of the lucky ones. But I do hope that you get well soon, Tom, mate, because friggin' hell, some people have been getting proper sick off that.
Here's the one for you from Mark. How long till you do the McGregor voice? There you go.
So,
how long did it take you to get to do it? He said.
It depends. I became a UFC fan at some stage, and then I don't know. Obviously, Conor McGregor, he's the most captivating athlete in the whole entire sport. Whether you like him or you hate him, he's the guy in that thing. So he's the money maker. He's the guy. Who the fuck is that guy? He just has so many moments. It's kind of difficult to not necessarily be able to do the accent.
He does it very well. I have to say, you do a Dublin accent very well, my man. It is.
I can fuck up some words, but like on the whole, you know what I'm doing. As long as you can understand what I'm doing, boss.
Here's another question, and I can take this one. I think, is Anfield Agenda looking to get any of the members to participate in streams? No, I tell you what, though. I was only saying this to the lads the other day. I'm like a pig in shit at the minute because we've got James, we've got Jack, we've got Chris, we've got Paddy, we've got Steve, we've got me, we've got Connor. I'm loving it. Every single day, mate. I am absolutely dying to get on here and chat with people. I love it. And Kyle as well. Sorry, I forgot about Kyle.
Well, we all get along as well, so it's kind of like we're mates, do you know what I mean? And we can just look forward to a chat. You know, it's like we're in a pub, but we're in our own little studios and we haven't got a bevy. It's literally the shit. Even the chat as well, people don't understand like how much interacting in the chat. I'm not even just licking your asses, how better it is. Like when you're talking a lot and, you know, giving us things to think about. Because obviously, an interactive show like this, we can't chat to the chat the whole stream. But like a watch along and whatnot, it's amazing when you just engage in there. And I think that's the best thing about YouTube, because not everyone's a dickhead. Like there's a lot of dickheads, but I actually think there's a lot more nice people on YouTube. When you've built yourself a core audience, there's always more people who are going to support you opposed to drag you down. And I think that's the special thing about it. So yeah, I agree.
Man, I absolutely love it. I've learned so much from our chat. I mean, so much about football, so much about life, so much about different perspectives. And I think that's what breaks down all these barriers of hate and stuff, is if we have these conversations, you know what I mean? You listen to somebody else's opinion. You know, that Ryan Gravenberch thing is earlier on. The only reason I had a pop at him was because of the way he phrased his question. But if somebody said, look, I don't think Ryan Gravenberch is a great player because of X, Y, and Z, sound. Let's have a talk about it. You know what I mean? Here's one I know that you'll be able to sort out, James. Somebody waiting for this one. Where's it gone? There we go. This one. I know you'll be able to sort this one out.
Man like Mini Mo Salah. Here he is in all of his glory right there. Let me make sure that you can see his full stature. Not quite as hench, but listen, the head is just as beautiful. What a gorgeous man. Mo Salah is. I love you, lad. Mwah. I think this is... I bought him in the summer. Look how boss he's been since we bought this. This is like the little magic. If I lose this, it could be a sticky one, so I'm not going to lose it. It's going to be right there.
We're going to have to stick a GPS tracker on that little fella.
Defo. Just like, shit, we've lost it. A little iPhone tracker. Like, I've lost my iPhone. I've lost my
signs all around Liverpool now. We'd be kidnapped. What's to be signs all around Liverpool? Have you seen my Mo?
Where is my Mo Salah?
Where's me little Mo? Wait, what else? Here's one. Here's a good question, actually. Thoughts on Van den Berg? Yeah, I don't want to write him off too early, but he keeps falling further and further down the pecking order in my eyes. And look, it's great he's getting game time. Loads of clubs wanted him when we signed him. Bayern Munich were looking to bring him in. Liverpool fought really hard to get him, but after that, I suppose, James, it's up to the player, isn't it? It's up to the player to prove himself.
He might be a late bloomer, but I just don't think Liverpool have time to take that risk. I think you've always got to evolve. And how old is Van den Berg now? Is he 19, 20 years of age? He joined when he was 16, I think, or 17. Him and Harvey were a very similar
I barely know what age I am. Do you know what I mean? Let alone what age Sepp Van den Berg is.
Oh, mate, I've got something in the back of my throat. It's proper getting at me. But Van den Berg, I think... I've saw a game, it was just too much in the under-23s when I weren't impressed with him. Because there was a stage where I was watching, he was playing a lot as well. And I was just had a lot of want to watch the under-23s. I don't even watch them as much anymore, but I was watching and I just didn't see like a proper centre-back, someone who could slot right into our team. And, you know, you even saw is that his name, Kumateo? Like the French centre-back. Oh, yeah. Our French centre-back that we've got in the academy.
Another big fella, by the way.
He's huge, mate. No, he is. He's huge, and he's only 17 or 18, so he's got plenty of time to improve. That being said, Kumateo came out of nowhere above Sepp Van den Berg, and Sepp Van den Berg was supposed to be the man. Got to remember, he was one of 3 signings when he joined. Him, Harvey Elliott, and Adrian.
There we go. Here's another one for us, and this is a difficult one. Where do you rank Salah among the Liverpool Premier League era players? Because the only real one here we need to discuss, I think, is Gerrard. That's the only, like, to me, he's above everybody else.
I agree. I could not agree more. Steven Gerrard is number 1 for me. He really, really is.
I don't think anybody will take that mantle off Steven Gerrard, in my opinion. Just because he didn't have, well, maybe he did have those around him. I was going to say he didn't have the quality around him, perhaps, that Mo has. But Gerrard... Again, though, I'm feeling like I'm going to answer this and then contradict myself, because Mo has grabbed games by the scruff of the neck, like the Man City game. That big moment, got himself a fantastic goal. maybe we are being biased here. Do you know what I mean? Maybe we are.
We are defo being biased. Defo. Like, do you know if Salah goes on to win 2 more Premier League, 2 more, like 1 more Champions League, and he's just amazing every single season until he's 35. Like, based on accolades and based on if he has more of those big games, which he's had them since he's joined Liverpool, I can't believe I'm about to say that he just should be above Steven Gerrard. Like, if that happens, but no, Steven Gerrard, not any trophy we win while Steven Gerrard was playing, we don't win without Steven Gerrard. We just...
I'm going to take a line from Tyson Fury here and say, no man born from his mother's vagina will ever outdo Steven Gerrard in the Premier League.
Did Tyson Fury actually say that?
He actually used the word cunt instead of
about
vagina.
Steven Gerrard?
No, he didn't say it about Gerrard. He said it about will ever beat the Gypsy King. He was talking about himself.
Yeah, man. I rate Tyson Fury in the trash talk game. It's amazing. No one does it better.
Did you see Clarissa Shields got beaten, by the way? In her
I did see
MMA
that, to be
fight?
fair. I did see that, and I thought to myself, this just doesn't surprise me. You know, she's a boxer first. When you're used to boxing in the way that she will be, she's a high-level boxer. Stylistically, it's a very difficult thing to adapt to overnight, especially when she's still been doing boxing fights and whatnot. So I think it's always going to be a long game, and you couldn't have just put it in there with a bum. You had to put it in there with someone who had a little bit of, high level, so she can then gain a little bit of credibility. She jumped into the deep end and she paid for it, the way it happens in MMA.
Here's one for you. How many Liverpool players have you met?
Oh, right. I don't think I've actually met. I've met Henderson. I've met Bobby Firmino. I've met...
You're some bollocks.
What?
You're some bollocks. But meeting Bobby Firmino, that's stuff of dreams.
He was in a restaurant. I never even asked him for a photo because he was like, he looked sad, and I just didn't want to annoy him, lad. Like, I just thought to myself, he's a normal person, do you know what I mean? I don't want to but when I left though, I was deviled and never asked for a photo, and I didn't want to just get my phone out and record him. This was like 2 years ago. So if I put that on my Instagram, it's probably going to blow, do you know what I mean? But I just thought to myself, he's looking stressed, man. So I think it's just them two. Henderson was years ago, was when it was like he first joined. I think, was it 13, 14, or I can't remember. It might have been 12, 13. Either way, they're the players that I've met. Have you met any?
Not of the current squad, no. Jeez, I've met loads of former players. I've met
a
Hamann,
few former players.
Garcia, Smeater, Fowler, McManaman,
Fowler,
Carragher.
McManaman as well.
None of the current lot. Oh, I've met Jurgs. But can I say I met him? We were at a press conference with him. That's close enough for me. We're able to ask him questions. But
still,
I won't lie to you, James. I bottled it. I absolutely shit the bed. Couldn't ask him a question. I was absolutely awestruck, and I'd never ever become a fanboy or anything like that. But as soon as Jurgen walked into the room, I was like, because I was in the front row.
He is kind of like Bill Shankly reincarnated though, so it's cool. Like, I understand why you like that. He is literally a god to this.
He's got an aura or something about him, doesn't he? Mourinho came in, I was lashing questions at him, but...
It's the fact he's well better than all of us. Do you know when you go to a man and meet him in the presence and you just know you are better than me? That's that feeling, Craig. And he's better than all of us. You're a lord, but Jurgen Klopp is
God.
Yeah.
It's the reincarnation of Robbie Fowler.
He's boss, lad. And I do not think I will... do you know what? There's a big debate if Gerrard became our manager. I would not love him as a manager more than I love Jurgen Klopp. There's a debate. I love the man and stuff like that, but Jurgen Klopp's on the level of Gerrard. Do you like the way we're saying Salah is just below Gerrard? Klopp, in terms of stature, for me, is on the level of Gerrard. Because the reasons why we talk about Gerrard in the Champions League, we wouldn't have the Champions League or the Prem without Jurgen.
I never thought that in my lifetime I'd get a manager at Liverpool that I love more than Rafa, but enter stage left Jurgen Klopp.
I loved Rafa with all my heart. I thought he was a top class manager, and I just thought there was something about his calmness, his coolness, and even though his style of play weren't like the most exciting, it was effective, and you just felt safe under Rafa. Whereas every other manager, like I think even the hindsight when we got Roy Hodgson, Kenny Dalglish, Brendan Rodgers, like these type of managers as well, I'm just thinking to myself, wow, Rafa was actually boss. And then we got Jurgen, and like I can't see how it gets more perfect than the way it has with Jurgen Klopp. when he does go. I honestly don't know how. It could do. He might make us amazing where we're so self-sustainable, but yeah, I think a big reason of our success has been that, man.
I'm like the ostrich digging his hole and putting his head now. I'm not even thinking about 2024 or Klopp moving on,
No,
mate. I'm
that's
just living in blissful ignorance.
100%. It's not even happening. My, do you know what? Subconsciously in the back of my brain, I already know that why does his name always go out my head? Our assistant coach.
Pep Linders.
Yeah. I always just think he's going to become the manager, and
Could
Jurgen's
do.
going to take a year off, and then boom, come back in. That's.
I remember reading a piece
like
on
a
the
tag
Echo.
team match. A tag team match in the WWE, just one in, one out.
Yeah, send Jurgs on an 1830 to Marbella or something like that, and all inclusive for a year.
Just let him have a belter.
Yeah, and let Pep Linders take care. Here's one that actually I'll answer because it is aimed at me. He said, Craig, why did the Liverpool teams of the 90s fail? For me, again, I wasn't inside the camp, but looking from the outside, I think the culture around football at that time let the lads down because we seemed a bit later than other clubs, particularly Manchester United and then Arsenal under Arsene Wenger and stuff, and he came in a little bit later. And the culture of the club, the Monday club of drinking, I've met Jamie Carragher and I've met Robbie Fowler and I've met McManaman. You hear the stories that these lads tell you about, Mondays heading to the pub or, playing a game of football. They had a pound coin in their sock and they were seeing how many times they could pass that pound coin around the pitch without getting caught by the cameras and stuff. I mean, just the culture, I think, of the way the club were set up back then. And look, them fucking suits, them poxy Armani bleeding suits. I will go to my grave wondering how on earth anybody okayed those cream suits for that FA Cup final, James. I know you must know the ones I'm on about.
No, yeah, definitely. Listen, I weren't even obviously born in the 90s. You get what I'm saying? So for me to give an answer might be a bit naive, but I do want to try. And the reason why I want to try is because I love learning about the history of Liverpool, and it's still not perfect in my brain. I have got a brain like a goldfish, so it goes out.
I mean, the Roy Evans team should have won something. Should have won a league title.
So this is what I want to say. I feel with Bill Shankly, and then obviously everything that followed, that period was so amazing and so beautiful that I think Liverpool kind of done a Manchester United now type of move where we always wanted to keep the foundation of the club. That was the thing that really meant everything to Liverpool, and then it kind of cost us, even with having Evans as manager and stuff like that. That should have won trophies, but I just think we kind of got stuck in our ways and we didn't redevelop our club. Do you like the way clubs have a philosophy? It's not always good to have that same philosophy for a long period of time because it gets caught out. It's good to change it up. So even though we have similar feels now, Jurgen Klopp has brought a different philosophy to our club than what it was back then, and that's obviously because times have changed. But I just think Liverpool tried staying with one for way too long, and that was what ended up doing us in the end, even though it was such a beautiful period before. But that's just my point of view from what I've read up on the thing.
Here's one aimed at me, but I'm going to flip it to aim it at you. So, any advice of bars in Liverpool to watch the Atleti game? I usually just end up at Beer Keller if I'm in Liverpool looking to watch football.
Beer Keller is an absolutely amazing shout, but I'm not even just saying it because I go in there, but Jurgen's is an amazing bar in Liverpool. Proper Liverpool-esque. If you want a Liverpool-type environment, that's the game to. Obviously, it shows the match as well, no doubt about it. So if there was a number one gaff that I'm going to recommend, you can go to the Beer Keller, but I reckon you go to Jurgen's. I think it's the place to be at the moment, man. The plans they've got.
And you're going to end up in Pop World anyway, whether you like it or not, at the end of the night.
Yeah, well, 100%. The night will go west somehow or another.
Right, let's get some more questions.
I'm enjoying these.
So I love it. I love doing these. I could do these all day.
Yeah, same. I'm enjoying this.
Do you genuinely think Klopp will extend his contract? You go first on this one, James.
No, I don't. Not straight. I know. I'm
blew up the Bellingham thing for me. Now he's pissing all over me cornflakes again.
Smash me face in because I know I hate myself for it, but I just really do not see how he does. I just think this man, he had about 4 months off and came into the Liverpool job. He just wants a break, man. I do think he'll end up getting the love back, which is why I genuinely think it's a possibility. They could. Do you know? I think Jurgen Klopp was pre-planned, and this leads into a point that I'm going to make. But I think Jurgen Klopp, we knew we were going to end up getting rid of Brendan Rodgers, but Jurgen just weren't quite ready. I think we knew he was always going to be our man. We got our man. There's a big, massive possibility we could just have something in place for 1 season, and then Jurgen comes back. I really think that's a possibility, or 2 seasons. I don't care. I don't think he'll extend straight away, is the point that I'm trying to make.
Really quickly, I just want to respond to this. Connor will refresh that link for you now, dude, again, just to make sure that you have it. So, one sec. For me, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. I don't think he does either. I think he takes a year out. I think he'll be true to his word, and I think he will take a year out. I don't think he'll go to another club. I know some people are wanting him to take the Germany job after Liverpool. Yeah, he might do that at some point, but
yeah, I think that'd suit him just because of the fact he'd like less football, maybe.
It's going to be a sad, sad day, though, isn't it, mate? It's going to be a sad, sad day.
I know transitions.
I'm getting sad now, even thinking about it.
No, I'm devastated as well, mate. Like genuinely as well. Like all jokes aside, but I think transitions for football clubs, they're supposed to be exciting moments, exciting times. When Jurgen Klopp came in, that was an exciting time for our team. When Man United let go of their manager, that's going to be an exciting time for them if they bring in a Conte. This should be one of the instances that there'd be very few situations where I feel comfortable going into the next season. Even if we got Steven Gerrard, it's just you can't expect the same level of consistency times boss performances than what we've had under Jurgen. The only one who I'd feel most comfortable with, and I don't think he's going to stay either, is Pep Linders. I think he'd be the one that I think, he knows the foundation of the club. The players will obviously really, really love him, and he'll be the man to take from Jurgen, but I'm not sure that'll happen.
That's why I keep banging on the drum about saying, live in the moment, appreciate these people while they're here, because we're going to look back on them.
I speak to people born through the 70s and through the 80s, and even they say this is the best football they've ever seen. It might not even be the best individuals, but the best systematic football that they've ever seen. And I think when you create a side where just kind of out of nowhere after 30 years with no Premier League, after no Champions League for 15 years, and we're European royalty, these type of things, they're big factors. Just belief back into the club, the way the club is, the way we sing on European nights, that comes and all stems from the manager, and that's why you do have to enjoy it right now, because it will never be so perfect in so many categories, because Jurgen ticks every box as the gaffer. I really highly doubt we'll see another manager tick every box. And they don't have to, because there's very few men in this world who could be as perfect as Jurgen Klopp. And I'm sure even Jurgen has his flaws, and you can find them, but there's no other man in the world who will tick these boxes the way Jurgen has ticked them, in my opinion. He's amazing. He's an elite manager and an elite man.
Here's another one for us. Do you think Gerrard needs a job in the Premier League before he comes to Liverpool? I would say yes. I would say yes.
I wouldn't mind that.
I think,
to be honest,
the Newcastle job, I know he's not going to take it, but I think it'll be a great move for him. I really do. I think it'd be a great move for him to get him through to 2024. He'd have a little bit of money behind him, so we could see then, James. The reason I'm saying this, we could see how he works with the top players then. If he comes into Liverpool, gets the purse strings, I think Newcastle will be a good... See how we can build, see how we can attract, see who we can bring in.
I would love the chat to remind me of Steven Gerrard's assistant coach, or if you can, that'd be Boyle.
Gary Mack.
Boyle. Is it Gary Mack? Has he got another one? Has he got another assistant coach?
Beale. I think Beale,
that's it, yeah. He's phenomenal as a coach, a phenomenal top coach. Whereas Steven Gerrard, he would be the figure. So Shankly, for example, I love going back to Shankly because I'm always reading up on him and stuff like that. But Shankly, he was the man who brought the philosophy to the team and also was able to talk about, basically inject the motivation into the squad and the belief into the fans. But Paisley was the tactician. He was the man who was the brains of the operation, and that's what I think Steven Gerrard and Beale, and even Gary Mack as well, that combination, I wouldn't hate that coming to Liverpool straight away, because even though he's been at Rangers and he needs to prove it at a higher level, when a team plays good football and they know what to do, and if they had the proper individuals in certain situations, they could go on and dominate. Their style of football and the way they play football, Rangers, is fantastic. So if we played that football with our good players, because sometimes it is just as black and white as that, because that's why I think Graham Potter would be a great manager, because he gets Brighton with not the best players playing football beautifully, and I think that's why Steven Gerrard was
Thomas Frank,
be a
by
good
the way,
combination.
at Brentford.
Yeah, he's a good manager. I wouldn't want to be too premature on him, but I think he definitely has potential to be a top class manager as well. The only thing with Steven Gerrard is if he didn't have Beale, I probably wouldn't go there.
Here's another question. Favourite place to sit inside Anfield? Now, you're a young fella, so I can imagine you're going to say Cop.
Cop end all day. View, main stand.
Any
Being
particular
behind the
section?
bench.
What's your favourite? I'm usually in 306 of the Cop.
I'm all over the stadium. This season I've been in every stand. I'm going to be in the upper main stand, which I'm dreading, by the way, but like, listen, at least I'm in the stadium. I'm going to be in the upper main stand for Brighton, which is the first time I've been there this season, which means I've completed every single stand. I'm just wherever the world takes me. I just like getting tickets to the game. And there's actually something nice about sitting in it. Because if it was up to me, I'd sit in the Cop end every single time. But I like kind of the atmosphere. Because, for example, Crystal Palace, I was in the Anfield Road lower. And me seats were shite. We were kind of on like the side. And we had to look to our left to watch the game. However, the atmosphere was absolutely booming for that Crystal Palace game, and it weren't coming from the Cop end. The Cop end was silent all game. We were the ones starting all the tunes, and there was just... It's days like that makes me think, do you know what? I actually appreciate being in these different parts of the stadiums, because you're mostly around people as well who don't regularly go to the game. Because, you know, there's sometimes the bad seats, you know what I mean? And it's beautiful, lad. I like going all around it, but the Cop end 100% is my favourite.
Yeah, give me the Corp with the good seats on the halfway line. But what I will say is, I like you, was waiting for one stand to tick off all the ones inside. Say I was waiting for the King Kenny stand, and went to the Spurs game a few years ago and got front row the King Kenny stand, and I was over the moon until I realised they were shite seats because the eye line was at pitch level, and I was like a meerkat trying to watch the game. Like, but me, the old paddock used to be my favourite. In the main stand. I remember going to see Liverpool play Real Betis, and I was sitting 2 rows behind Rafa in the dugout. I was absolutely... I didn't even watch the game. I just watched Rafa for the entire game. Just sat there watching every move that he made.
No, yeah, when you buy like the bench and stuff like that, that's very surreal, because you can like hear conversations between them if you're close enough. And I've been behind the bench once. It was like in 2010, but I was like we were playing really shit. But I remember like seeing all the players talking to each other, and you could hear them. So yeah, that was sick.
Here's another one for you. Where has it gone? This one. Opinions on the Rudiger links. I don't know if you've seen these, but Liverpool have been linked with Tony Rudiger from Chelsea, whose contract is up at the end of this season. I think it's bullshit, but we have been linked with him. I've seen the article.
Defo bollocks. Would I take him if it was offered to me? No.
Here's one, actually. I want to ask you this. Have you been to any aways?
Yes, not this season, but yes, I've been to.
Never gone on an away. I've been to Champions League finals, but I wouldn't class that as an away. But yeah, I've always wanted to go on an away trip.
When was my last away trip? I'm trying to like think what my last one was. It was a while ago, to be honest. I haven't been on one in a long time, but I used to go often when I was younger. It might have been Hull City. I think in 2017 or 2018. Umar Nias absolutely fingered us that day. It was like 2-0 to Hull City. Lad, oh my God, it was the worst. Probably why I haven't been on one since. But Robbo played for them at the time as well. So it was definitely a while. It was probably 2016 even, now that I think about it. But yeah, away days, it's not that I don't like them. I love away days. It's just, right now especially, they're so hard to like to fit into my schedule and whatnot. But next season, I want to be vlogging all the games. I want to vlog the home games, the away games, and do shit like that. Like, that'd be the most fun for me. If I can go around, work and travel with my team, imagine that. That'd be amazing, Craig. So that's what
my dream has always been to do a pre-season tour to Australia and follow the team for the pre-season tour. That's been my dream, because I've never gone to Australia, and if I can combine the two, that'll be perfect. So which finals did I go to? I can answer that. I went to Istanbul and I went to Athens, so 2005, 2007. But I've never been to Wembley, and I'm absolutely fixated on the idea of going to Wembley. And do you know what? I shit the bed on one. I think I might have told you this, but that time we lost to Villa in the semi-final of the FA Cup. It was at Wembley. I could have gone to that game, but I rolled the dice because I knew if I didn't go, I'd get tickets to the final. That's the way the supporters club I was with at the time worked. And I'll never, ever forget that we lost that game. I was like an antichrist for about a month because I've never been to Wembley. And I've been to Spurs Stadium. It's amazing, but never been to Wembley.
I've never been to a final, but I went to the semi-final at the FA Cup against Everton in 2011 or 10. When was it that we played them in the semi? They had Jelavic at the time, and it was a semi. Andy Carroll scored the winner. Suarez scored. It might have been 2011 in that game, actually. That was an amazing day, to be dead honest with you. Like, I loved it because we went with our family, and our family, like, we were split into two. So there was Liverpool fans and Everton fans. So all day we'd been having, like, drinks and all this shit. Obviously, I was a kid, so I weren't, but I mean, all the adults was. And then we ended up going to the game, and then we separated at the stadiums, like, right, fuck off, you know what I mean? And we go to our seat. We never even sat together. Never sat together. My family made sure we're not sitting together during this game. We're going in each stand, the Everton stand and the Liverpool one. And it was just a boss day. The atmosphere was amazing. Like, oh, I just couldn't believe how good. That's probably... I went to Barcelona as well, to be fair, like, at home. That's not an away game, but in terms of the best game of my life, that's up there. The Everton one.
If I can offer you a ticket, this is my last one before we finish up. If I can offer you a ticket, any away day, outside of, let's say, we won't give you the easy ones. You can't have the blue shite and you can't have the Manx. Any other away, what would you go to?
Oh, that's a good question. Like, in the world?
We'll go with the Premier League first, and then we'll talk. We'll go into Europe after that.
All right, I'll say in the Premier League. I want to try and come up with a sick answer here. But I can't. There's no team that's jumping out in my brain. Because Newcastle, you're sitting like shit seats. I'm trying to think who've got rowdy fans. Brentford, maybe? Just because it's like such a small atmosphere. Like, I probably would love to go to the one a few weeks ago because that was booming. But, no, I actually can't think of it. There's no one in the top six that I desperately want to go and play against.
One jumps out to me straight away. Leeds
Chelsea?
away.
Leeds?
No, Leeds away.
Yes. Leeds. That's probably the one that I'd go to.
Yeah, I think, and then Europe, if I can give you a European away day. This season definitely be the San Siro, AC Milan, because it's the last time.
I'll tell you my one, Dortmund, every day of the week. If I could go to anyone this season, Dortmund would be my choice. I love that stage. I love them fans. I love the atmosphere. I love the team as well. Like, they've got a very similar feel to us. Because they've just built the foundations on what that club should be about. And players like Haaland, the way, you know, he's like Salah. He's inevitable. He's going to score goals. He's going to be exciting. He's the attitude. He's everything that you need in that league. He's literally like the one that brings eyes to that league right now in terms of excitement. Every time Haaland scores, you see the views on YouTube. It goes up. That'd be the one because they're a good team to play good football. And they've got amazing fans.
This one. If you didn't support Liverpool, who would you support?
Right, so I say this all the time, like, and I hate to say it, but it probably would be Everton, just because...
Yeah, that makes sense. City. That makes sense.
Like, I'm not being fun. I can sit here all the ones and be like, Tranmere Rovers, but let's be real, though. Like, if my family didn't support Liverpool, my family would force me to support Everton. Thank fuck that I don't. But the only way that would happen is if Liverpool didn't exist. So, thankfully, I was born on the right side of the city, and I'll just be grateful for that.
For me, it would have been Newcastle. Before the takeover, it always would have been Newcastle. I don't know why. Really? I like the Geordies. I just think they're sound, salt of the earth, working class bunch of people. Yeah. I relate to them. So probably them. Here's a great show for European away that I can't believe neither of us two fucking head the balls came up. Ajax. You get to go to Amsterdam.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Don't even start on why the reasons that would be beautiful. But nah, yeah, Ajax is... I've always wanted to draw that. Last year, before COVID, so the season before, actually, we were praying, like, we were all sitting there, like, please get Ajax, because we wanted to go to Amsterdam anyway, and the time we were going was around the Liverpool game, like, around where the group stages would be, so we were like, right, fuck it, we'll, like, just change the date if the Ajax game comes, and then next thing you know, we didn't get Ajax. I was devastated.
I'm putting you on overtime for 2 minutes, because I forgot to ask you about...
I'm enjoying this, so, like, take time.
Happy day. Tyler Morton. Want to get your take on Tyler Morton's performance last night? He was brilliant, wasn't he?
Pulling strings, my friend. Pulling strings. I dropped
doing bits. Doing bits. Don't be dropping him. I haven't put the GPS tracker on him yet.
I know, I didn't mean it. Sorry about that. Sorry, Mo just gave him a kiss to make him feel better. Tyler Morton, boss, lad. Oh my goodness gracious. I think he's a top-class player. The only thing he needs is to fill out his body. That's what Jurgen said. He's like, the second that he's got the physical side to his game, he'll be a top-class player. Did you see the passes that he was putting in over the top? He's a really good player. Again, another player that I just haven't realised that we've had in our academy that was that good. Our academy's improved so much under Jurgen Klopp. If you look at the academy when we first when Jurgen first came in. Who was coming through? Kevin Stewart, Brad Smith, Conor Randall, Cameron Brannigan, Shay J.
Conor
Ojo.
Brannigan seemed to be here, and we couldn't get rid of Conor Randall. He was here for
Conor Randall,
forever.
I've just named you 5 players who were playing in our first team out of the youth academy. None of them were good enough. Even at the time, you realised none of them were good enough. The only one who you said had potential was Ryan Brewster. And look how he's turned out where he is now. I just feel like the level is so much higher. You've got multiple players who can come into this first team and at least do a job. And I think that is due to the manager. I don't think it's no coincidence that we've improved as a Premier League 2 side, let's say.
Jordan Ibe, that was a great shout from Tom Boland
Jordan
as
Ibe
well.
I really like Jordan Ibe. I mean,
I watched him play against Celtic at the Aviva in Dublin, and I thought, that's it, he's nailed on, because he had the physique, the pace, the power.
Yes.
I looked at him and thought, he's going to be like Sterling on steroids.
I thought he was going to be better than Sterling.
For whatever reason, it just didn't work out for him.
I thought he was going to end up being better than Sterling. He had a lot of personal problems. I think that was one thing that got into. I don't know him personally, but I've heard the stories and stuff like that, interviews on why it never went quite right at Bournemouth. In hindsight, it was easy to say we got a steal for 20 million for him, but I do think he had so much potential. And I remember, I think it was his debut against Everton, or one of his first games at his debut. And he hits the post with a long shot, and I'm like, yes, he gets stuck in, lads. And I did enjoy watching him play. So no, devastated it never worked out for him. He's at Derby now, though, I think, or he was at Derby. I'm not sure.
Jordan Rossiter, that was another one as well.
Jordan Rossiter. Do you remember his goal against Arsenal? I think it was Jurgen Klopp's first or second season. Chat, you'll know what I'm on about. He scored a goal from outside the box, I think.
I just remember he was the next in the long list of the new Gerrards. Like Bruno Shearer was another one before, back in the day. We got him in.
He ended up working under Gerrard at Rangers, didn't he? Jordan Rossiter.
He played under him, I think. They certainly played up at Rangers.
No, that's what I mean. He played. He's not there no more, but he played under Gerrard for a little bit.
He did. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen.
Someone's just said there that Jordan Rossiter flopped at Rangers.
Yeah, it's so difficult to make that last step from the underage system to the first team. It's so difficult. Right, I'm going to leave that there, I think, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've got through it. That flew by again, man. I don't know where this time goes when we do these, but I fucking love them.
Them questions were fun. We need to do them more often.
Absolutely. Look, ladies and gentlemen, loads coming up. James, what have you got this weekend? Because I know you're at the game on Saturday, so what are you going to be doing?
I will be. So a match day vlog will be coming to your screens, as well as a match reaction, so be sure that you're on James Redmond TV for that.
Absolutely. Get over, hit that subscribe button, like all the videos, and again, we'll be doing a watch along here from 2:30 for the game on Saturday. So yeah, thank you to James for giving up some of his evening once again.
Thank you, Craig, for having me on the show again. Bit pleasure as always.
Doing bits, James. We're doing bits. What can I say, dude? We're doing bits. And keep Minnie Mo safe.
He is safe. I'm going to put him in a fucking cushion, because if anything happens to him, even if a hand breaks off, I'm going to fume. Hey, to end the show, high five. Whoosh. That's our thing.
There you go.
Like the way people have handshakes, we've got a high five, and we know what that means. Even new viewers, they'll be like, why are these fuckers always high fiving? If you know, you know. So if you are watching these streams, you are the OGs, and if you know, you know.
Absolutely. And look, don't forget, check out manscaped.com, WFM20, 20% off and free shipping. James, thank you very much, my man. Enjoy the game on Saturday, and you guys, legends. Appreciate you.